Your brain must be stronger than your tongue, because words are easy, talk is cheap, and every excuse you've ever made came from your mouth, not your mind. Your mind knows the truth. It knows what you're capable of. It knows the standard you've been ignoring, but your tongue, it's been selling you comfort, selling you lies, telling you you'll start tomorrow, telling you it's okay to rest when you haven't even worked. Every time you speak weakness, you feed weakness. Every time you speak defeat, you train your brain to accept it. Your tongue can betray you if your brain isn't leading. Your brain must command the tongue. It must demand discipline before desire. It must demand action before excuses. It must demand persistence before praise, because the world doesn't care about what you say you will do. It only sees what you actually do. No one is counting your intentions, they're counting your results. You've been down before, you've been counted out before, and maybe you've been your own worst enemy, but this is your comeback season. Not by talking about it, by doing it, by shutting your mouth and letting your actions become your speech. Control the mind, control the mouth, control your destiny. Words are easy. Anyone can say they want success. Anyone can say they have big dreams. Anyone can talk about what they will do one day. But talking is not doing. Speaking is not building. Your mouth can move all day long, but if your feet are standing still, your life will not change. Many people love to talk about success. They love the sound of their own ambition. They love to tell the world what they are going to accomplish, but when it's time to act, when it's time to show up early, when it's time to grind after the excitement fades, they disappear because action is hard. Action demands sacrifice. Action demands discipline when motivation is gone. Action requires you to push when no one is watching. It's easy to say you want to be great. It's easy to post quotes, share ideas, and talk about goals. But it's another thing entirely to wake up early every single day and work for them. It's another thing to face failure and keep going. It's another thing to do the work when it's boring, repetitive, and exhausting. That's why the world is filled with dreamers and short on doers. Because dreaming feels good, it's safe, it costs nothing. But doing costs you time, energy, comfort, and sometimes even relationships. Doing tests your willpower. Doing forces you to confront your weaknesses. Doing makes you tired. Doing breaks you down before it builds you up. That's why so many people talk a big game but live a small life. Their words are strong, but their actions are weak. They want the reward, but they refuse the work. They want the crown, but they won't carry the cross. If you want success, you must understand this truth. You will be judged not by what you say, but by what you do. Your promises mean nothing without proof. Your potential means nothing without performance. Your dreams mean nothing without daily action. Every time you speak of success, you create an expectation. The question is, will you match it with effort? Will you back it with consistent, relentless, unstoppable action? Or will you let your words fade into the air, forgotten like all the other empty promises, because in the end, talk doesn't build empires, action does. Your tongue often serves comfort over truth. It whispers the things that feel good. It tells you that you're doing enough when deep down you know you're not. It tells you to rest when you haven't even earned the right to be tired. It tells you that tomorrow will be the day you start, even though you've told yourself that 100 times before. Your tongue is a master of selling comfort. It's an expert at justifying your inaction. It will convince you that you deserve a break after doing the bare minimum. It will feed you soft lies so you don't have to face the hard truth. And the hard truth is this: you're capable of more, but you're not giving more. You're playing safe. You're living small. You're doing just enough to get by, but not enough to stand out. and your tongue loves it that way. Because comfort feels nice, comfort doesn't hurt, comfort doesn't challenge you, but truth demands more. Truth asks you why you wasted your time. Truth holds up a mirror to your laziness, your distractions, your excuses. Truth tells you that while you're talking about your goals, someone else is out there chasing theirs. Truth doesn't care if you feel good in the moment. Truth cares if you grow, and that's why your tongue and the truth rarely agree. The tongue is emotional. It bends to your feelings. It tries to protect your ego, but the truth is logical. It sees exactly what you're doing and exactly what you're avoiding. And here's the dangerous part: if you listen to your tongue for too long, you will start to believe its lies. You will believe you're working hard when you're not. You will believe you're making progress when you're standing still. You will believe you deserve success while avoiding the pain that builds it. That's how dreams die, not because they're impossible, but because comfort slowly kills the hunger to fight for them. That's how potential is wasted, not because of lack of talent, but because lies from your own mouth make you feel like you've already arrived. You must train yourself to silence the tongue when it chooses comfort over truth. You must let your brain, your discipline, your higher self decide what's real. Because if you keep feeding yourself comforting lies, one day you'll wake up and realize the truth has passed you by. Weak words feed a weak mindset. Every time you speak in limitation, you teach your mind to live in limitation. Every time you tell yourself you can't, you make it true. Every time you say it's too hard, you're giving yourself permission to quit. Negative self-talk is poison. It doesn't just live in the moment you say it. It plants seeds inside your mind, seeds that grow into doubt, seeds that grow into fear, seeds that grow into the belief that you're not good enough, and once those seeds take root, they start to shape the way you think, the way you move, and the way you live. You start to expect less from yourself. You stop aiming high. You stop taking risks. You settle for what's easy. You choose comfort over challenge, and little by little, mediocrity becomes normal. You stop chasing greatness not because you can't achieve it, but because you've convinced yourself it's out of reach. That's the power of your words. They are commands to your subconscious. Your mind doesn't know the difference between a truth and a lie. It believes what you tell it. If you tell it you're strong, it starts to look for ways to prove it. If you tell it you're weak, it will find evidence for that too. Your words build your reality. If you speak weakness, you will live weakness. If you speak strength, you will live strength. So every "I can't" you let slip out of your mouth becomes a wall you must climb later. Every "I'm not ready" becomes a chain that holds you back, and every "I'll never make it" becomes a prophecy you fulfill. You have to understand your mindset is shaped in the moments you talk to yourself. It's shaped when you're alone, when no one else hears the conversation but you. It's shaped in the silence, in the struggle, in the decisions you make when doubt knocks on the door. If you keep feeding yourself weak words, you will never have the strength to fight for the life you want. You will always back down when challenges appear. You will always find a reason to stop when the road gets hard. But if you decide right now to speak power into your life, everything changes. If you decide to speak strength, courage, and determination, your mind will rise to meet your words. Because words are not just sounds, they are blueprints. They design the life you are building, whether you realize it or not. Your brain must lead the tongue, because the tongue reacts, but the brain decides. The tongue speaks in emotion, but the brain must speak in wisdom. If you let your tongue lead, you will say things you don't mean. You will make promises you can't keep. You will speak before you think, and words spoken without thought can destroy opportunities, relationships, and even your own self-belief. The brain is the commander. It holds the map. It knows the direction you want your life to go. But if the tongue moves without orders, it will lead you off course. Discipline must guide your speech. You cannot allow feelings in the moment to dictate the message you send. Because feelings are temporary, but words are permanent. Once spoken, they cannot be taken back. Your words should come from a place of clarity, not chaos, from logic, not impulse, from a vision of where you're going, not a reaction to where you are. Your brain must filter every word, asking, does this help me or hurt me? Does this build or destroy? Does this move me forward or hold me back? Because undisciplined speech is the enemy of progress. The wrong words can kill momentum. They can kill trust. They can kill the belief others have in you. And just as dangerous, the wrong words can kill the belief you have in yourself. If you keep telling yourself you can't, your mind will believe it. If you keep speaking failure, you will live it. That's why discipline is not just about your actions, it's about your words. The disciplined mind chooses when to speak and when to stay silent. It chooses words that align with the goal, not words that satisfy the ego in the moment. The disciplined mind understands that your tongue should be the last thing to move, not the first. Because when your brain leads, you speak with purpose, you speak with strength, you speak with truth. And your words carry weight because they are backed by thought and intention. Without this discipline, you will talk yourself out of opportunities. You will damage relationships that could have helped you grow. You will create a reputation of saying more than you do. But when your brain controls the tongue, your words match your actions. They become tools, not weapons. They inspire instead of destroy. They open doors instead of closing them. They help you rather than hurt you. Because in the end, your mouth should never outrun your mind. It should follow its lead, step by step, thought by thought, with discipline as the guard at the gate. Action comes before excuses. Because excuses are what you create when you haven't taken action. The right mindset will never allow you to sit still and talk about what you could have done. It pushes you to do it before you find a reason not to. Empty promises are easy. Anyone can say they're going to change. Anyone can say they're going to work harder. Anyone can say they're going to start tomorrow. But the truth is, tomorrow never comes for those who live in excuses. They spend their lives planning and preparing, but never executing. They tell the world about their goals, but the only thing they ever finish is the story they tell about why they didn't achieve them. Action requires courage. It requires you to step forward when you don't feel ready. It requires you to take the first step without seeing the whole path. That's why the right mindset demands action first. Because once you move, once you take even the smallest step, momentum starts to build, and momentum kills excuses. It's hard to tell yourself you can't when you're already doing it. It's hard to justify quitting when you've already put in the work. But if you wait, if you hesitate, if you let your mind fill with reasons why it's not the right time, those excuses will grow stronger than your desire. Excuses are like weeds. The longer you let them sit, the deeper their roots go. The only way to destroy them is with action, not talking, not thinking, not hoping, doing. Action turns dreams into goals. Action turns goals into progress, and action turns progress into results. Excuses, on the other hand, turn everything into regret. They turn potential into wasted years. They turn opportunities into missed chances, and they turn your vision of the life you wanted into a memory of the life you never lived. The right mindset understands this. It knows that taking imperfect action today is worth far more than making perfect excuses tomorrow. It knows that even small steps count because they're steps in the right direction. It knows that discipline is born from movement, not from waiting for the perfect moment. You will never think your way into greatness without moving your way into it. And the moment you choose action over excuses, you take control. You stop being the person who talks about what could have been. You become the person who makes it happen, because action is proof, and proof will always speak louder than promises. Results speak louder than intentions, because at the end of the day, no one can see what's in your head, they can only see what's in your hands. You can have the best ideas, the biggest dreams, and the strongest desires, but if they never leave your mind, they mean nothing. People value what you do, not what you say. They value the proof you produce, not the plans you describe. The world is full of people who say they're going to make a change, they say they're going to build something, they say they're going to become someone, but most never move beyond the talking stage, and here's the truth: intentions don't inspire people, results do. You can't lead with promises alone, you can't inspire with someday and soon. You inspire when you show up. You inspire when you do the work. You inspire when you have results that speak for you. No one remembers the person who said they were going to change the world. They remember the person who did . Your actions are your resume. They are the evidence of who you are. If your actions match your words, people will respect you. If your actions outgrow your words, people will admire you. But if your words outgrow your actions, people will stop listening, because talk without proof is noise. It fades, it loses weight, it becomes forgettable. Results, on the other hand, are undeniable. They can't be argued with, they can't be ignored. They stand as proof that you followed through. They tell the world you are a person who does what they say, and that is rare. Most people let their intentions die in the space between thinking and doing. They allow hesitation, fear, or laziness to keep them from crossing the finish line. But the ones who rise above are the ones who understand that the world rewards execution, not excuses. That greatness is not measured by what you wanted to do, but by what you actually accomplished. Every day you have a choice. You can feed your intentions with more words, or you can feed them with action. You can keep telling people what you're going to do, or you can let your results speak in your place. And when your results speak, they speak in a language everyone understands, a language that needs no explanation, a language that says, "I didn't just say it, I did it." Comeback starts in the mind. Before your body moves, before your actions change, before the world sees any difference in you, it begins in your head. Mental control is the foundation for rebuilding, because if your mind is still defeated, no amount of effort will last. You can force yourself to act for a day, maybe a week, but without a shift in your mindset, you'll fall back into the same habits that broke you in the first place. The greatest comebacks are not made with muscles, they are made with thoughts. They are built in silence, in the unseen battles you fight inside your own head. It's the decision to stop living in the past. It's the decision to stop replaying the mistakes. It's the decision to stop calling yourself a failure and start calling yourself a fighter. When your mind is broken, every obstacle feels bigger than it really is. Every challenge feels impossible. Every step forward feels like a struggle. But when your mind is strong, you start to see obstacles as tests. You start to see challenges as opportunities. You start to see every step forward as proof that you're rebuilding. Mental control is about refusing to let emotions make the final decision. It's about training your thoughts to work for you instead of against you. It's about telling yourself, I am capable, even when you feel weak. It's about reminding yourself, I have more in me. When you want to quit, your comeback begins the moment you take ownership of your thoughts. The moment you stop blaming others, the moment you stop waiting for a perfect time, the moment you say, enough, I'm not staying here. When you control your mind, you control your actions. When you control your actions, you control your direction. And when you control your direction, you change your life. But it all starts in the same place, the decision, deep inside your mind, that you will rise again. You cannot rebuild a strong life with a weak mind. You cannot create a new chapter while holding on to the old one. You cannot move forward while constantly looking back. So you train your mind to believe in the vision before you see the results. You feed it with discipline, focus, and belief. And piece by piece, thought by thought, you rebuild yourself from the inside out, because when your mind comes back, the rest of you will follow. Silence can be powerful, because in a world where everyone is talking, doing becomes rare. Most people want to be heard before they have something worth hearing. They announce their plans before they take their first step. They speak about their dreams before they've done the work to earn them. But the truth is, words don't make progress, work does. And sometimes the loudest statement you can make is made in silence. When you stop telling people what you're going to do and start showing them through your actions, you shift the energy. Your focus changes, your attention moves from seeking approval to producing results, because constant talk is a distraction. Every time you speak about a goal you haven't started, you give yourself a false sense of achievement. It feels good in the moment, but it steals the urgency to act. Silence removes that comfort. It forces you to replace talk with action. It forces you to prove your intentions through consistency, not conversation. And when the results start to show, you won't need to explain yourself. You won't need to justify your grind. You won't need to convince anyone of your worth. Your work will speak, and it will speak louder than anything you could have said. Silence protects your momentum. It keeps you from being swayed by opinions and doubts from people who don't understand your vision. It keeps your energy locked on the mission, not on the noise around you. Because the more you talk, the more you open the door for others to question, criticize, or discourage you, and not everyone needs to be invited into your process. Some things grow better in quiet. Some victories are built away from the crowd. Some transformations happen best when no one is watching. Silence also sharpens your edge. It makes the unveiling of your results even more powerful. When you've been quiet, when you've been putting in the work without broadcasting every step, the moment your results appear, they hit harder. People see the outcome without seeing the struggle, and it speaks volumes. It shows discipline. It shows focus. It shows that you cared more about doing than about being seen doing. So let your work become your voice. Let your effort become your argument. Let your results do the talking. Because silence is not weakness, it's strategy, and when you master it, your success will make all the noise you need. Self-control is self-respect. Because when you can master yourself, you prove that you value yourself. Managing your words is not about weakness, it's about strength. It's about knowing that not every thought needs to be spoken. Not every feeling needs to be expressed. Not every reaction needs to be acted upon. When you control your words, you show the world that you are in charge of your emotions, not the other way around. Anyone can lash out. Anyone can say the first thing that comes to mind. Anyone can let anger, frustration, or pride speak for them. But that's easy. What's hard is pausing. What's hard is thinking before speaking. What's hard is choosing the words that serve your purpose instead of your impulse. Self-control is the ability to protect your future from your present feelings, because one careless sentence can burn bridges, one angry outburst can ruin trust, one moment of pride can cost you an opportunity. When you have self-control, you understand that words are powerful. They can build or they can destroy, and you decide to build. You choose to speak in a way that adds value to your life and to the lives of others. You choose to speak in a way that aligns with your goals, your vision, and your character. You understand that your tongue is a weapon and you choose to keep it under control. This is more than discipline. It's respect for yourself, because when you respect yourself, you refuse to lower your standards just to satisfy a temporary emotion. You refuse to let someone else's behavior dictate your own. You refuse to give away your power by reacting without thought. Self-control tells the world, I decide who I am, I decide how I respond, I decide what my words mean. It keeps you in control, even in chaos. It allows you to walk away from battles that aren't worth fighting. It allows you to stay calm when others are losing their composure. It allows you to win without ever needing to shout. The person who can master their words can master their life, because if you can control your mouth, you can control your mind. And if you can control your mind, you can control your actions. And if you can control your actions, you can shape your future. That's why self-control is not just a habit, it's a form of self-respect. It's the proof that you honor yourself enough to protect your character, your peace, and your purpose. Your destiny follows your discipline, because no matter how big your dreams are, they will only go as far as your habits take them. When your brain is stronger than your tongue, success follows. The brain thinks long-term, it sees the bigger picture. It knows that what you do today shapes what you have tomorrow. The tongue lives in the moment. It craves comfort. It wants the easy way out. It will tell you to quit when things get hard. It will tell you to rest when you haven't earned it. It will tell you to slow down when you should be speeding up. That's why discipline must rule over impulse. When your brain leads, you act according to your goals, not your moods. You do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. You understand that success is built in the boring moments, the early mornings, the late nights, the repetition, the grind no one sees. Discipline keeps you on track when motivation disappears. It keeps you moving forward when progress feels slow. It keeps you consistent when others give up. Without discipline, talent is wasted. Without discipline, potential dies. Without discipline, your destiny becomes just another what could have been. But when you have it, everything changes. You stop relying on inspiration to get started. You stop waiting for the perfect time. You stop letting your tongue talk you out of the work your brain knows you must do. You begin to show up every day, regardless of how you feel. You begin to push through resistance instead of avoiding it. You begin to live in alignment with the future you want, instead of the comfort you crave. And little by little, the gap between where you are and where you want to be gets smaller. Discipline turns vision into reality. It turns effort into results. It turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Your destiny isn't built in a single moment, it's built in every choice you make. Every time you choose action over excuses, every time you choose persistence over quitting, every time you choose to listen to the logic of your brain instead of the laziness of your tongue, those choices stack. They compound, they create a life that reflects your discipline, and when you stay disciplined long enough, you look back and realize that everything you dreamed of is now your reality. Because your destiny will always follow your discipline, and discipline is the proof that your brain is stronger than your tongue. So stop talking about what you're going to do. Stop promising yourself change while living the same way. Decide today that your brain will lead, your tongue will follow, and your discipline will never break. Because the world doesn't need to hear more words from you, it needs to see the life you build. And when your actions speak, when your results show, when your destiny unfolds, you won't have to say a thing. Success will speak for you.